Previously on Not Another Atheist Podcast.
Spoiler alert, big black cock.
Oh my god, speaking of big black cock videos, did you see the
There is something wrong with you. The guy is literally fucking a McChicken sandwich.
This is the second time I've heard big black cock today.
So anyways, back to the whole McChicken fucker.
They're nothing but whole body raging boners all the time.
Oh, dude, I saw so many dicks. I have a boner right now.
Go get a McChicken, you impotent fuck!
God damn it, masturbation just got really fucking expensive.
But the gays can't marry, because it's immoral.
Warning, the following podcast does have an explicit tag, and we would hate to disappoint it.
You're listening to Not Another Atheist Podcast, the Ramble Without a Cause podcast that breaks down issues in the secular humanist community and tries each week to push the limits of the explicit tag. I'm the polite Canadian Keith, and joining me as always is the New York born and bound bundle of sass and attitude, Jen. Jen, thank you as always for joining me.
Did I ever tell you I don't like the word sass? I never like the word sass or sassy. It reminds me of some bratty ass pageant kid.
See, now I'm just going to use it based on principle.
I know, you fuckhead.
Yes, we want to apologize. We know we've been absent for a little while. We had recorded an episode a couple of weeks ago, but the genius that is the Canadian host fucked it all up. I apologize. The issue was completely on my end. We had three absolutely wonderful guests who, fortunately, I know two of them at least have agreed to help us out. So we're organizing that. Hopefully that'll be the very next episode out. That should be episode 35.
And then Jen updated our fucking computer and speakers weren't working and headphone jacks aren't working because Windows 10 can fuck a cactus dry.
You know, a friend of mine was, she was telling another friend of ours, I guess, that she did try that going in dry thing once, and apparently she couldn't sit right for a week.
Oh,
yeah.
No.
Information she forfeited willingly. It was just amazing.
No.
Yeah, it's...
No, absolutely not.
Yeah, no part of it seems like a good idea. I think before we get into the news, this is kind of like a little PSA, because everybody's heard about the clown thing, I'm assuming. Apparently these...
Oh my god, they're here too.
Apparently, they have a Calgary-based Instagram saying we're coming, but they got 3 fucking Instagrams, so...
Oh, yeah. Do they? They have Instagrams?
Yeah. And it just says, Calgary, we're coming for you, and all I could really think is, yeah, okay. And I was curious, so I kind of looked it up, and I found what I thought was a fairly decent article discussing somebody who lived up to the horror that is the current clown craze, because allegedly they had found 12 bodies in his shed. However, this is an exercise in skepticism and properly setting your sources, because I had never actually seen the website that I had found this article on, and I started to ask questions when I realized that apparently Congress was voting to ban the clown mask, and it could cost you $75,000 fine. The website, as it turns out, is Empire Herald. I had no idea it was satire. So...
Oh god, I was like, wait, what?
Yeah, so trying to bank off of the clown hype, and as a good satire website should, you know? But now we're going to move on to... I don't know.
I should let you know that I am attempting to view Earth live streams of Cochrane, Alberta.
Why would you want to look at Cochrane? Oh,
because they have the polar bear habitat there.
Motherfucking say what?
They have a polar bear habitat. Oh, okay, wait. I'll read it to you. I will read it to you. Apparently, it's a... I think it's a private habitat in Cochrane. I'm looking for it.
Yeah, look at that.
It's like a polar bear rescue, and it's a habitat for them.
Yeah, polar bears are a big thing down here in southern Alberta, that's for sure. No?
Really? Well, they have this...
I know. and I don't know why.
This is so cute. Granted, it's nighttime and I can't see anything, which makes me kind of sad. But
I'm.
This is adorable.
Yeah.
Oh my god! This is amazing. The Cochrane Polar Bear Habitat is a results and action-driven research and education center that unites and inspires people to learn more about polar bears, their care, and conservation. The Cochrane Polar Bear Habitat is both the largest and the only human care facility in the world dedicated solely to polar bears, with I can never say this fucking word, hectares, whatever, it's big, I don't care, of pristine natural environment categorized as subarctic. The habitat also features the world's largest enclosed lake that provides an ice platform for up to 7 months out of the year.
Well, shit.
Oh my god, I love this!
Okay, so, because I didn't believe you, I had to pull this up myself.
How far is Cochrane from you?
Cochrane is literally all but part of Calgary right now.
Really?
I think there are about a couple of, and I'm going to say this for the benefit of my American
this?
counterpart, it is really like 3-4 miles away, I think.
The polar bear habitat provides polar bears who are orphaned, rescued, or moved from other facilities, sanctuary, and a habitat as close to the natural environment as possible.
What? Apparently there's like a swimming pool.
It's like the world's largest pool that they can make ice caps for them.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like, apparently it's got a pool also, because the advertisement picture has a family and they're all in their swim shorts. Either that or it's a really weird nudist.
Oh my god, you can visit.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm doing when I come up there?
Gonna go visit polar bears?
Oh my god!
Oh, good lord. Oh, okay.
Oh my god, it's only $16 for an adult.
Or $25 for a yearly pass. Go twice and boom, you've made your money.
Yeah, like I'm coming up there twice. Oh my god, they have a snowmobile. Wait, can you ride a fucking snowmobile?
I don't think that's what that is.
Okay, it's just a museum. Damn!
Yeah.
Oh, they have dining too. Wait, you don't eat the polar bears, do you? Wait, what's Heritage Village? Can you, like, stay on the grounds? Please tell me you can stay on the grounds.
I just found out that this place exists.
Oh, okay. No, it's just like, it's a recreation of what the village looked like in the 1900s. Oh my god, we have to go. Please, please, please. Can we have your bachelor party here?
Are you fucking... Do you know my friends? My friends will make...
Yeah, this might not be safe.
My friends will get us banned from there for life. And I give you a hint. You know my best man. What he will do to a bear is nothing that we should ever speak of.
Yeah. Have you heard about the wolf story from the other day?
Probably. It just, as of right...
He was literally surrounded by fucking wolves.
Oh, yeah, his Bushman shit, yeah.
He's fucking Liam Neeson now. I mean... How do they not have fucking live cams from... They don't have fucking... Wait, are there live cams in Ireland? How are there no live... There's a Dublin... Oh my god. Okay. So, if you guys have not been made aware of these, there are these Android TV boxes that you can get a bunch of channels for free and shit on Cody. So, I'm looking into the Earth cams, like, you know, like the live cams, the stream cams. They have nothing for England. London being the most watched fucking city in the world. But for Ireland, they have a Dublin pub cam.
Of course they do.
I am watching this.
Of course they have that.
Oh my god, I'm watching this. Because I am bound to see some drunk... Oh, look, there's 2 drunks already coming and stumbling out of the... Oh my god, this is amazing! What time is it in Ireland right now? Time in Ireland. Is this prime time for viewing? It's 5 o'clock in the morning, and there are 2 drunks stumbling out onto the street right now. I'm not even kidding. Oh my god, this is fabulous! I don't even think the pub's open. I think they're just stumbling around and drinking.
Oh lord.
This is wonderful! Love this. Let's go to Scotland!
So anyways, we're gonna move on to news now.
Wait, they have one for Israel. Do I really want to look at this? Jordan.
Oh, good god, we're gonna move into news now. Because we need to depress our listeners.
Morbid curiosity has gotten the best of me. The Western Wall Cam. Oh, they have an interactive panorama.
Look, unless it involves fire-breathing Jews, I don't want to hear about it.
Or throwing rocks. Oh my god, I should say that's fucked up.
So, I'm pretty sure because we're releasing this late, we're like the last of the table. In fact, pretty much everybody is gone, but I still hear the odd mumbling about it. everybody's heard about Trump's locker room talk and, how
Fuck me. Do I have to talk about this again?
Yes, we're going to talk about him wanting to grab every woman by the pussy because he can.
It's not even that pisses me off. Okay, honestly, it's not the grabbing them by the pussy thing that pisses me off. It's not. It's really not, because I have heard guys say some fucking horrific shit, man. And I've said some really bad fucking shit in my time. It was I'm gonna pull up the quote.
Seems like...
Because I want to make sure I get this. I want to make sure that I get this fucking verbatim. Because this has to be addressed. I'm automatically attracted to beautiful. I just start kissing them. It's like a magnet. I just kiss. I don't even wait. And when you're a star, they let you do it. You can do anything. Grab them by the pussy. You can do anything.
Yeah.
Now, for those of you who may live in countries where you have kind of lax assault laws, coming up to a woman and kissing them unwanted without consent is considered sexual assault. I'm just putting this out there.
Yeah. No, it makes sense.
It's actual sexual assault. So it's not, oh, it was locker room talk, blah, 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 blah. He's literally admitting to assaulting women. He's literally admitting that he just kisses women, whether or not they want it or not. He quote unquote can't help it.
Even if they're 13?
Is that a thing?
Have you not? How have you, of all people, not heard about this? Yes, he is going to court in December.
I did hear about this. But I don't know the exact details of the case because I am so Trump maxed on my brain right now that I can't.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Like, I can't. I fucking can't do it. Because it's like every fucking time I turn around, there's something... Like, my brain is burnt out from him.
Is he really just trying to go as far as...
Do you want to know my theory? Donald Trump ran for president last time,
Did he?
And he kind of didn't... Yeah, and he, it really didn't go anywhere, and... it was kind of like a ha, Trump's running, and I think he just did it to do it.
Yeah.
It didn't go anywhere, and whatever. I think he thought that was going to happen again. Like, oh, I'll put my name in the hat, look what happened last time, ha. It was, what was it, 2016, 14, 13? Oh, fuck, how many years ago was it? 8 years ago? What year was it, 8 years
2008.
ago? Thank you. Hold on. 2008 presidential Republican candidate. I don't know if it was 8 or the one after that. And McCain, Mike Huckabee, like this was a fucking insane lineup. Like the most conservative fucking... Yeah, 2008. You want to hear this conservative lineup?
Always.
John McCain, Mike Huckabee, Mitt Romney, Ron Paul, Fred Thompson, Alan Keyes, Duncan Hunter, and Rudy Giuliani.
Wow.
Yeah, this is like the act. If you want to know, if you believe in the apocalypse and want to know what the horsemen of the apocalypse look like, it's right there.
Yeah.
Let's see. And Ron Paul, who we all love. We all love the crazy man. We all just love him.
Of course, everybody needs to have like a token.
But like, I don't even think that Trump really registered on like the kind, like even like the primary scale, honestly. So I think he was like, oh, okay, we'll do it again. I'm bored. It's something fun to fucking do. And I think it just got way out of hand.
Yes, I think.
I think he just like totally didn't expect this, and now he's like, let's see how fucking far I can take it. Let's see how much these people will eat this shit up. And it's just taken this kind of wild, way bad turn for the worse. Because like no matter what he says, people are eating this shit up. And I think it's he's done reality TV. What's the big sell on reality TV is shock and awe, shock and awe, shock and awe. What scares me about Trump is one, his Supreme Court justice nominees scare me.
What you mean? Aren't they like Scalia incarnates?
Yeah, like their clone Scalia's. And this would, it's to the point now that there are countries that are run by Catholic law that are more progressive than the views of these people are.
Absolutely amazing.
Like the Vatican and fucking Ireland are more progressive than the views of the men and women that he wants to appoint. My fear is, that it's going to happen like what happened with his company, to where he really doesn't make a lot of the day-to-day decisions, but he's the face man, and he passes off the day-to-day decisions to other people who would be his VP, Mike Pence.
I feel like his name should always be accompanied by like some horror sound, like a wolf howling in the background or something.
Because that's exactly what it is. Like, this man defunded Planned Parenthood. And they saw a huge spike in AIDS cases in his state. He nearly bankrupted his state. He truly believes that women need to be like barefoot and pregnant in the kitchen, and abortion is the worst thing in the fucking world. And hold on, let's pull up Pence against women. Pence against. Okay, if I type in Pence against, do you want to know what the first 3 results that come up are?
Absolutely.
Pence against condoms, Pence against veterans, Pence against Mulan. Mulan. He made this whole spiel about her being a strong woman, and that Disney's kind of cramming it down our throats, and we get it. She fought with men, blah blah blah.
Oh yes,
blah,
how
blah,
dare women actually be, an equal human being? How dare they?
Oh yeah. Wait, let's see.
Oh, okay.
From the man who brought you one of the nation's strictest anti-choice laws, defunded Planned Parenthood, and caused an HIV outbreak, voted 3 times against the bill to address workplace gender discrimination, and most recently, giddily joined the presidential ticket of America's most prominent misogynist, the many sexist comments of Mike Pence should hardly come as a surprise. Pence made headlines for a very sexist op-ed which somehow managed to cite Disney's Mulan as evidence for why women shouldn't be in the military, but it was right for plenty other misogynistic points worth noting.
Jen, you gotta send this to me. This is amazing.
His 1997 op-ed, Daycare Kids, was filled with gems like this. For years, we have gotten the message from the mouthpieces of the popular culture that you can have it all: careers, kids, and a 2-car garage. Sure, you can have it all, but your daycare kids get the short end of the emotional stick. I am criticizing a culture that has sold the big lie that mom doesn't matter.
Wow.
Disney expects us to believe that Mulan's ingenuity and courage were enough to carry her to military success on an equal basis with her Cloddish cohort.
With her what cohort?
I think it's Cloddish. Cloddi. I don't know. I might be pronouncing this wrong. Here, women in the Mulan military. This was the Mike Pence show. He had a show too. Just spent a memorable Father's Day. I know. Like so many other American Hoosier dads, with my kids at the new Disney film entitled Mulan. For those of you who have not yet been victimized by the McDonald's-induced hysteria over this film, which I will admit, fucking Disney films come out and McDonald's is all over that shit. You get toys, you get fucking theme boxes, retarded.
Yep.
Mulan is a fictional account of a delicate girl of the same name who serendipitously takes her father's place in the Chinese army in one of their ancient wars against the Huns. Despite her delicate features and voice, Disney expects us to believe that Mulan's ingenuity and courage were enough to carry her to military success on an equal basis with her Cloddish cohorts. Again, I might be pronouncing this wrong, it's a late night. Obviously, this is Walt Disney's attempt to add childhood expectations to the cultural debate over the role of women in the military. I suspect that some mischievous liberal at Disney assumes that Mulan's story will cause a quiet change in the next generation's attitude about women in combat, and they just might be right. Just think about how often we think of Bambi every time the subject of deer hunting comes into the mainstream media.
What the fuck? Like, what the actual fuck?
This is who he picked for his vice president. Many young men find many young women to be attractive sexually. Many young women find many young men to be attractive sexually. Put them together in close quarters for long periods of time and things will get interesting. Moral of the story, women in the military, bad idea.
Holy Jesus. Is he actually saying that people are
Yes.
completely incapable of behaving outside of their sexual desires. Like, is he actually trying to say that because men and women, have chemistry, he's completely denying that, maybe there are gay men, maybe there are lesbians, all that shit. But no.
Oh God, no. Gays would make his fucking brain melt. Are you kidding me? He can only handle women in the military right now.
Good Lord, what a dick. See, and shit like this, like I was talking to a friend of mine earlier, and we're both bitching about the various faults that the Canadian governments and provincial governments, whatever, have been, pulling on people, and how they've kind of, their right hand doesn't know what their left hand doeth, or however that fucking quote goes.
Shakespeare, bitches!
And then we were talking, then she goes, yeah, but at least we don't have that same clown show going on down in the South. And we kind of shot the shit on that. I talked about how I made the mistake of watching some of the debates, and I'm not going to lie, it actually looked like that scene out of the melty face scene out of Raiders of the Lost Ark. And then she goes, yeah, if only somebody would kill him, cough, cough. I mean, I would never endorse that. And I said, no, we don't want that, because then we have Pence. Because he pulls this... If he had his way, Scalia would be cloned 8 different times and fill up the entire Supreme Court.
No. Would you like to hear more about Mr. Mike Pence, who every time I look at this man... Remember the T-1000 from the Terminator movies?
How could I forget?
That's exactly who I picture. Every fucking time I look at him. I cannot get that fucking image out of my head. Every time I look at him, I just see the T-1000. It's amazing.
Oh, shit.
Pence is perhaps the most famous for pushing through the state legislature a bill that permits discrimination against LGBT people by private businesses. A bill that, although he partially retracted it, cost his state as much as $60 million in lost business. But there's lots more.
Oh, God.
His opposition to abortion is a virtual obsession. He pushed Indiana's new law, stayed by a federal judge, which bans abortions for disabled fetuses and requires women who have had abortions or miscarriages, no matter how early, to arrange for either the burial or cremation of the remains. This is why women have been calling his office with details of their periods. Who knows if a woman could be passing one of those unimplanted fertilized egg abortion opponents considered to be children. He also happens to be the governor of the state that sentenced Purvi Patel to 20 years in prison for a late self-abortion she claims was a stillbirth.
So this is the motherfucker that would be behind the bills that made women wait 3 days for an abortion after seeing a picture of the child or the fetus.
And then makes them bury it.
And actually makes them name it and all that shit? Like, this is the asshole who's pulled things like that.
Pence co-sponsored Todd Atkins' infamous anti-abortion bill that would have redefined rape as forcible rape.
What does it even mean?
In 2011, he led the fight to shut down the government over funding for Planned Parenthood. And as governor, he cut Planned Parenthood funding in half from 2005 levels. That resulted in the closing of 5 non-abortion clinics that provided STD testing and that helped fuel the rise in HIV infection so staggering it required a federal intervention. In other news, as governor, he cut $1 million from domestic violence programs and slashed higher education funding while cutting corporate taxes. Before becoming governor, Pence spent 12 years in Congress, where he was one of the most conservative members. In addition to his crusade against reproductive rights, he voted for the war in Iraq, which Trump now falsely claims he himself opposed, for prayer in schools, and for barring the EPA from regulating greenhouse gases, co-sponsored a bill repealing the Affordable Care Act, and on and on. In 1992, as executive director of a conservative foundation, he even attacked President George H.W. Bush for signing the 1991 Civil Rights Act. He doesn't believe in global warming or that smoking causes lung cancer, and he wants creationism taught in public schools. As for governor, he even tried to block state agencies from supporting a Syrian family resettled in Indiana by the Catholic Church. Need I add that he gets an A rating from the NRA?
I'm sorry, I have to stop you there, and I have to point this out. This man literally is to politics as big of a failure as Trump is to business.
I fucking can't.
Let's be brutally honest. With all of Trump's failed ventures, had the man literally just become one of those annoying as fuck social media whores with what his dad left him, he would have been more of a success than he is now.
Do you know where you see guys like this? He is like somebody literally out of God's Not Dead. And my fear is that Trump is going to be like, okay, I got the presidency, I'm the face man, ha ha ha, will throw me up to the cameras, I'll tell a couple world leaders to fuck off.
I'm going to make friends with Putin.
Control of the country. And then hands control of the country to Mike Pence.
Fuck, that's horrifying.
And very much like
Unbelievably
a
horrifying.
like a George Bush Jr. Dick Cheney.
Oh, come on, but at
Kind of.
least
And
we
I
got
don't
some
give a
good
fuck. People are gonna-
Family Guy jokes out of Dick Cheney.
Yeah, but people are gonna fucking tell me blah 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 blah. That's conspiracy. That's conspiracy. That's what I fucking believe. I really think that. And don't get me wrong. I don't agree with George W. Bush on a lot of his policies, but as a person, as a guy, as just a regular fucking guy, I think he's pretty cool. I think he's actually a really cool guy. I think he's very sweet. I think he's very loving. I just don't think he was in the position to be a world leader. I don't agree with a lot of his policies, and I don't agree with his style of leadership. But as a person, I wouldn't mind having a few beers with the guy. I think he's pretty
Well,
cool.
isn't that how he ended up getting elected?
Pretty much. He was the bro, you know? But
He's
like,
gonna have a beer or four.
Pence is like the fucking main horseman of the women's rights and civil rights apocalypse. Like, if you want to go back to women dying in back alleys from abortions and black people having to drink from fucking separate fountains and, you know, gays being beaten to death by cops at bars, then vote for Donald Trump.
You see, I'm sitting here, and
Not to say that Hillary's any better. You know, I've gone on and on about Hillary, but
part of me kind of wants to see
God.
a parallel universe where, you know, Mike,
No, I
Mike
don't,
Pence
I
wins,
don't,
just so we
I
can
don't.
show them the horror show and be like, this is the world you want to live in. These are the atrocities by voting for Donald Trump that you want in the world. That's why I you know.
I would never want to lay eyes on that kind of that world because I would inherently want to save everybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and
Like,
it's the ultimate
it
told
would
you
cause
so.
me like severe. It would be like it would be severely damaging to my psyche. It really would. And I've even said it. Like I'm sorry, I'll give it a year with Trump and see how it goes. I'll give it a year. If he wins, I'll give it a year.
Before you start burning down neighborhoods?
Well, no, like I'll start making preparations. Don't get me wrong, but I'll give it a year, just to see if it's like Barack Obama said there was going to be all this change, and there was some, but there really wasn't a lot.
Yeah.
Every president makes these big grand claims about everything.
Yeah, that's called getting elected.
Right, exactly, and then it's kind of the same old same every day. I'll give it a year.
Yeah.
If I start seeing shit turning, I'm coming to Canada. Because I've had an abortion, I'm a fucking atheist, I'm for fucking equality, like, they're gonna put me in a FEMA camp. I'm gonna be in a fucking FEMA camp. I'm gonna be in a FEMA camp.
I don't know, my final feelings on the whole Trump thing are just that I'm sitting here and this is one of the only times I've really ever hoped for Ashton Kutcher to show up and yell punked.
I mean, I really want to know how. You know what? I'm gonna Google again.
Oh God.
What is the population of the United States?
It's over 300 million.
Adult
isn't
population
it? It's
of the United States, because we can't really hold kids accountable because they can't. All right, 2013 U.S. Census Bureau estimates that there are 242,470,820 adults living in the United States. The total population, okay, 243 million people.
oh, that's
243
60 million people less than I thought there were.
Well, this is just the adult population. We're not
Oh.
going to count kids into this because kids can't vote.
Fine.
243 million people. And this is what we wound up with. We wound up with Donald Trump and Mike Pence and Hillary Clinton and the fucking wallfly. Because I can't even tell you this fucking guy's name. He's that fucking bland. He's that fucking bland.
Oh,
He is like white milk on fucking white paper.
Oh,
Bland.
the other candidate?
I can't even think of his name. Oh my god! Like seriously, this is
Gary
how.
Johnson.
Is that it? No, not the candidate. Hillary Clinton's VP.
Oh, shit. Oh, I don't know.
Hillary Clinton's like, I have to Google this guy because he's that bland. Tim Kaine, like this guy's this bland. Like he makes zero kind of fucking impact on me. And he's like, I saw the debates with him. He's just this kind of like dad to me. Like you could so see him with the high waist jeans making dad jokes.
Yeah. Tim Kaine.
And it's nothing about Tim Kaine, and it's nothing about what he stands for. It's what him and Hillary are going to do, what him and Hillary are going to do, what him and Hillary are going to do. And it's like, I don't want to hear about what you and Hillary are going to do. I want to hear about what your views are. And then we got Gary Johnson, who I think the only thing this guy really wants to do is just light a fucking joint in the White House lawn. I think that's the entire fucking reason he's running for president, just so he could say he did that.
Huh.
He couldn't fucking tell you where Aleppo is.
To be fair, I couldn't tell you where Aleppo is.
Really?
I don't know. I've never even really heard of it. Hang on. See, but...
Aleppo is the fucking capital of Syria. I'm pretty sure it's the capital. If it's not the capital,
it's
then
a city in Syria close to the Turkish border, serving as capital of the Aleppo governorate. So...
Okay, I'm sorry. It is not the capital. Excuse me. But Aleppo is probably... It's been the focal point of the ISIS takeover and the Syrian civil war. Aleppo has kind of been ground zero for all of it. This is where the Russians are flying into. This is where the U.S. is telling people to stay out of. Aleppo is... It's ground zero. And the sad part about Aleppo is that before the Syrian civil war and before all of this shit went down, a large part of Aleppo had been left as it was thousands of years ago. They didn't change the city. They didn't change the buildings. It was beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful.
God.
And it's destroyed.
Damn.
It's fucking destroyed now. I mean, these are buildings that go back to the beginning of the Ottoman empires and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of years ago. And they never changed a lot of the buildings, and it was absolutely beautiful, but it's destroyed now.
Okay.
And, I mean, as a fucking presidential candidate, you need to know where fucking Aleppo is, because this is fucking ground zero. And not only the Syrian civil war, but the fucking ISIS takeover in the fucking Middle East.
But Donald Trump, he knows all the best cities. He's got the greatest cities. He's got the best people. He's going to take him to the greatest cities.
He's going to do great things for Aleppo, and Aleppo's going to be fabulous, and it's going to be fantastic.
It's going to be great. It's going to be strong. It's going to be huge.
He's going to have the greatest plan for Aleppo. And then we have Jill Stein, who is a medical doctor but will not take a solid stance on vaccines.
She thinks the internet gives you cancer.
Will not take a solid stance on vaccines and turns around and says that vaccines should not be mandatory. And no. And you lost me.
Yeah.
And I hate to say this, and I'm actually going to go out in public and say this. I have participated in every election. Every one. From Senate to presidential to local elections since I was 18. Since I was registered to vote. I will not be voting in this presidential election. I will not be.
You're not voting in this election?
Because I don't feel that there is a candidate that I can back. I don't. I don't feel that there's a candidate that I can back. I don't feel that... I think Donald Trump is an absolute disaster for this country.
Oh.
I don't believe that Hillary Clinton is really going to bring about any kind of change that we do need, and I think things are just going to continue to spiral with her to the point of no return. I love Gary Johnson as a person. I can't back him as a leader, and I don't trust Jill Stein with the health of the children in this nation. There is not one candidate that I can actually back that I would say would provide a better country and a better place for my son to live in the future. So I will not be voting in this election.
All right. Well, I think that kind of opens us up to ask our listeners to send us an email, tell us what they think of Jen's decision not to vote. And
oh my god, yeah, call me the fucking worst citizen ever. I know I bitch about politics and everything else, but hey, I voted for Bernie Sanders. Y'all can't blame this shit on me.
What she's saying is, come at me, bruh.
I don't feel that.
So I don't understand betting odds, but before we wrap this little section up and move on to our next story here, I got curious because Ashley and I were talking about it the other day, and she's like, I wonder what the Vegas odds are. So I kind of Googled it, and I don't know all the best websites, but the common consensus, or one of the things that I pulled up, has the odds of Hillary Clinton winning is like 2 to 11. I don't know, it's 2/11, and then for Donald Trump it's 9/2. So I'm guessing Donald Trump is the favorite to win, which is horrifying.
Oh, it depends on what.
Yeah, every website seems to be
Who
different.
is favored?
Because let's see, on
to-
oddschecker.com, they have Donald Trump as 5-1 and Hillary Clinton is 2-11. So
Let's look at Oddshark here because they actually do like professional betting.
yeah, I looked at them and I
You
couldn't.
can
understand
actually
their
bet
website.
on the presidential. Oh, it says here Trump is plus 375. Now this is of October 20th. Hillary is at negative 550.
So
That's
that means
interesting.
Trump's the favorite to win.
Which I'm sorry. Polling last week's debate showed Clinton widening her lead over Trump, and the odds are proving the same. The day following the debate, the odds only moved from negative 400 to negative 425 in Clinton's favor. Nearing the end of the weekend ahead of the third and final debate, Clinton was listed with the best odds as a whole, whatever, under 650. I don't know. Obviously, you could tell I'm not a sports person because I have no idea how to read sports odds. Okay,
So-
let's take a look. Okay, national. Average of 11 polls as of yesterday has Hillary Clinton at 50%, Donald Trump at 41%, and other at 9%. Now, they polled Ohio, Arizona, Missouri, New Hampshire, New York, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, Utah, Vermont, Wisconsin. Wow, I think they polled fucking everyone. There's only a few states that I can see. Ohio is a split even, 46 to 45. Arizona is 42-41 Clinton. Missouri is where Trump tops out, 47-40. Clearly, New York is, wow. New York is 56% to 32% for Hillary Clinton. When your own fucking hometown. Okay, now this is where it gets interesting. What the fuck is going on in Utah, ladies and gentlemen? Utah, 25% Hillary Clinton, 31% Donald Trump, 44% other.
Wow.
What the fuck is going on? Utah just may clinch the election for us, ladies and gentlemen. The fucking Mormons have spoken. Same thing with fucking Idaho. What the fuck? Yo, what is going on in that whole area of the fucking country? Tennessee, Trump leads 46 to 35. But the overall consensus is that Hillary's lead is widening over Donald Trump.
Yay?
And, you know, you're on the hand now of, do I want more of the same and it's spiraling, or do I just want to completely throw shit into the fucking flame and just get it over with? It's the Band-Aid argument. Do I want to continue to rip the Band-Aid off slowly, or do I just want to rip it all off at once?
Yeesh. So I think we're gonna move on from that because none of us really understand how to make a sports.
Oh, hold on. 538.com has Hillary Clinton's chance of winning at 86.9%.
There we go.
And, another Trump topic. Apparently, they did a poll of if only men voted and if only women voted, who would win the presidential election. If only men voted in this country, Donald Trump would win. If only women voted, then Hillary Clinton would win. There is now a call on Twitter to repeal the 19th Amendment and take a woman's right to vote away so that Donald Trump can win.
I thought that was like a joke, but apparently it wasn't.
No, it's real. No, it's fucking real. It's fucking real. It's fucking real. It's fucking real.
Interesting.
It's fucking real.
Okay, Jen, close down those windows. We're gonna move on
Alrighty.
because I have a local story. It's not often that I get to talk about local douchebags and assholes.
Because, nothing really happens in Calgary.
In Canada in general, I mean, we don't have the same fanatical religious presence that.
Well, I'm sure you guys don't, but I'm sure shit happens in, like, Toronto and shit.
Yeah, but see, Toronto thinks it's so important that I actively avoid
Toronto thinks it's the center of the universe.
Exactly. Even Americans realize it. Thank you. Okay, good. So, this is from the Gauntlet, which I'm given to understand is actually a paper from the University of Calgary. It's involving an LGBTQ activist group and an anti-LGBTQ activist group. So the Queers on Campus, obviously the LGBTQ activist group, went up against the Christian Truth activists. From the sounds of things, the Christian Truth activists, who are an evangelical Christian group advocating against non-heterosexuality and abortion, had recently set up a little display, a table, if you will, in one of the main hallways, including posters with graphic images of aborted fetuses and sexually transmitted infections, with two members promoting their messages to passersby throughout the day. So a few hours after they set up their little station, the Queers on Campus members stood by the table with a rainbow flag. And I'm looking at this right now, and it actually looks like 2 rainbow flags stitched together, and one of them actually has the Canadian maple leaf in the middle, which is cool. I say go him.
That's
yeah,
cool.
go them.
Yeah.
And then several students from the university stopped by to argue with the group. Basically, one of the executives from Queers on Campus said, or was quoted as saying, it's really sad that in this age we have this going on in a university campus. No shit. They're saying that...
So wait, I'm confused. The people, okay, the LGBT kids put up a flag. Did they cover...
No,
any of the...
I'm looking at a picture of it right now.
Information, quote unquote, that the Christian group put out? Did they cover anything? Did they infringe on their station?
Nope. Holy shit.
Okay.
So the picture in this article, and I will link it, I've been there because they have a lot of concerts there, actually.
Oh.
Well.
Now, okay, and then the Christian group was like, well, we don't want this, right?
That's a little later on in the article, because, yeah, according to the Christian group, at least this is said from the Queer on Campus group, that according to the CTA, that 90% of UC students agree with them. I'm not sure if this is the same group that's gotten in trouble before. They've put up a lot of anti-abortion pictures, so they're the assholes who they'll go to like an overpass and they'll hang pictures of aborted fetuses. They'll display them all over school. They handed out pamphlets.
Right.
Again,
okay.
I don't want to say it's this group because I might be wrong on that, but groups like them have done these very things. That's flat out fucking wrong. I mean, not only are you lying to people, but you're intentionally being provocative in...
I'm like, yo, say
in
what
a
the fuck
way,
you want to say,
in
man.
a way that's
whatever.
not really something that's appropriate, because let's face it, not every woman has an abortion. It's kind of a woman's choice.
I'm very much the American in the sense of I don't give a shit. Say what you want to say. Fucking hang up what you want to hang up. As long as you're doing it on your time and you're not, you know what I mean? You're not like grabbing people off the street and forcing them to look at it. Then I don't give a shit. Say what the fuck you want to say. You want to look like an asshole in public?
Yeah. I guess it's been it's being speculated that the CTA set up shop at this spot specifically because this is a very central part of the university. It's right in the middle of a food court, and as I said, it's right by what's called McEwen
Even
Hall.
then, I don't care. I don't fucking care. You could hang that shit in the middle of fucking Times Square. You could fucking hang that shit.
Jen, that's not what's being discussed though. I'm just kind of setting the stage here. We'll get more into your freedom of speech bit in a few. Now I lost my train of thought. There we go. So, because this is such a central spot, and because such provocative images were being displayed, this group was like, we kind of want to draw attention to, these guys are being assholes, and we're here to basically say they're wrong. And they're speculating that this was a deliberate act, that they were intentionally trying to draw attention to themselves, which obviously they fucking did, since it made an article in the newspaper. And then the CTA executive director said his group was exercising its right to freedom of speech on a public campus, and I'm not going to disagree. I am all for freedom of speech. As I explain this, or in personal conversations, I firmly believe in freedom of speech. But here's the thing. I also believe in somebody else's freedom of speech to tell you you're an asshole. Actually, Jen, I sent you my response because this was actually shared by You did. By a friend of mine who does identify as being a member of the trans community, and they had posted this, and I just kind of want to read my response because I actually was rather proud of myself because I think it was one of the smartest things I've written in a while, and I guess I set the bar pretty low.
I'm so proud of you.
I know. So basically all I said was they have the right to their hateful rhetoric, but that doesn't protect them from being exposed as bigoted and ignorant excuses for human beings. It also doesn't give them the right to stand up there and deny someone else their humanity. And I went on to say, let's just call these people what they are, a hate group. The truth that the director was discussing, which I guess I skipped over, is that unless you are cisgendered, heterosexual, and adhere to his interpretation of whatever he believes in, you are inherently inferior. As far as I'm concerned, it isn't a free speech issue at this point. It's a matter of the university standing up and telling them that they are free to have their little circle jerks, but until they can play nicely and respect everyone, then they aren't welcome to set up shop in a public space. I kind of paused there because I made a little note about the statement that they love the sinner but hate the sin. That's not fucking respectful, so don't give me that shit.
Yeah. I mean, if you're gonna put, like I said, if you want to, it's like when people turn around and say that, like, the KKK shouldn't be allowed to hold rallies, or, like, the KKK occasionally gets protest permits, and, like, they stand on a box and they're talking to a fucking microphone and all this other shit.
Yeah.
And they just kind of spew their hate for a few hours and they go home. And people are like, oh, they shouldn't be allowed to do that. I'm like, why? Why? Let them fucking say anything they want to fucking say. I'm very much a believer in words are only powerful with action. Not so much with action, but words are given about as much power as you give them. You can call me a fucking cunt all day if I really don't give a shit about your fucking opinion.
Yeah, but you love that title anyways.
I love that shit. But you know what I mean. Like, you could sit here and you're a cheating, lying, scumbag, fucking chlamydia-ridden bitch. If I don't give a shit about what you think of me, then those words have no power to me. But if it came from somebody that I really cared about, then I would be upset. You know what I mean? Or if, like, people were coming with STD pitchforks to my fucking, front lawn, then it would be a problem. I'm very much a person of, hey, if you want to make yourself look like a fucking asshole in public, cool. That's on you. You want to make yourself look like a bigoted fucking asshole, go for it. But you can't turn around and argue free speech, free speech, free speech when someone tells you you're a dick. And, like, here at least, I'm not very up on, like, Canadian laws or your constitution or whatever you guys call it. Wow, it just sounded so ignorant. Anyway, as far as free speech here in the States, free speech protects you from not going to the fucking gulag when you say your government's a dick or your president's a fucking, your president fucks parrots in his spare time. You know what I mean?
Wait, you don't fuck parrots in your spare time?
Not parrots, but I prefer cockatoos. Anyway.
Oh. I see what you did there.
I get on the kink side. Anyway. But, that's what the First Amendment protects you from here, is making sure that you're not put in jail or killed or anything like that for expressing distaste against the government or distaste against, a group of people. It doesn't stop somebody from calling you an asshole.
No, and
you can't claim free. It's free speech is not meant as a personal. Free speech is not murder law.
Free speech isn't protection.
Not meant as a right. You are protected from your government. You are not protected from your neighbor. Murder protects you from your neighbor. Murder laws protect you from your neighbor, assault, whatever. Free speech protects you from going to jail from your government for speaking out against your government. You could sit here and claim free speech and say whatever the fuck you want. Free speech also, in your argument, free speech also gives me the right to tell you you're a fucking idiot.
Exactly. And so this asshole basically just said, this is exercising my right to freedom of speech. The university has finally relented in trying to silence and censor me, so they gave me the table. Because they have to pay for the space at the student center.
Right.
But what's also...
Then if you know this shit is gonna happen...
Well, yeah, but then they get to try playing
don't
the victim
fucking
card.
pay for it.
Because when they all get together and they all have their little congregation where they go, oh, we just want to preach the love that we have, even though they're really saying, everybody who doesn't agree with us is going to hell. I hate when I do that and I lose my fucking train of thought. Yeah, so I don't know. Apparently, I wasn't saying anything overly important with that one. I'll go back and listen, but that's
and after this, I wanna go back and kind of educate our listeners on a little bit of world history and why what's going on in another part of the world is so sad. But
well, maybe we'll save that for another time because I think we're running short on our episode.
Oh, this is gonna be quick.
Yeah, but I do know that there are some hate speech laws in Canada, which got the Westboro Baptist Church actually banned.
I know you guys actually have hate speech laws on your book.
Yeah, so I gotta get. I think maybe I'll talk to Jim and see if I can get him to do like an actual special report on that because I'm fucking lazy. But anyways, so I guess this asshole, this leader of this group who's falling on free speech just because somebody told him he's an idiot for what he's saying, He's currently in a $104 million lawsuit after he attended the Toronto Gay Pride Parade dressed as a fucking zombie. And, oh shit, he lost a Supreme Court of Canada lawsuit over his distribution of anti-LGBTQ flyers in Saskatchewan in the early 2000s.
That's considered hate speech to you guys?
I think it's because it's...
Like, that wouldn't even make Americans fucking blink at this point.
Well, no, because Kim Davis raised the bar.
Wait, real quick, there is actually an Earth camp for Botswana. Just thought I'd put that out there.
Interesting.
There's no cams for England, but there is one for Botswana. Okay.
Huh. So I just Googled this guy's name. So this is cool. He leads a university group, even though he's, almost 50. So that's not creepy. That doesn't tell me. That doesn't look like he's trying to get into the pants of young
little
girls.
girlies.
Or not. No, there are some underage girls in university. So, but anyways.
Yeah, bordering. That's bordering.
Yeah, but most of
you're in kind of danger zone.
Most of the pictures of him are just him standing there with shirts that say homosexuality is a sin and all that good stuff.
Harmless shit.
Apparently, why did he move to the Philippines? Oh, apparently last year he said he was going to the. Oh, that's.
Oh, I went there.
Yeah, you did. Okay, what's your quick educational thing? You got
okay.
8
minutes.
minutes.
Shut up. I went back to the talking about the ancient city of Aleppo and everything. This is what makes a lot of our listeners, I know, are history buffs. I know you are. I know I am. And this is what makes this civil war absolutely so fucking sad, is the ancient city of Aleppo. I'm just going to read off some of the buildings we have here. The Citadel is a large fortress built atop of a huge, particularly artificial mound. The structure dates back from the 13th century. It had been extensively damaged by earthquakes in 1822. That is now in danger. We have buildings from 1354 that have been left and remained untouched. 1603. Well, we're going to get back here. I don't know what a madrasa is. If somebody wants to educate me on that, that would be great. There is one in the ancient city of Aleppo, built in 1124. On the site of Aleppo's 5th century Great Byzantine Cathedral of St. Helena. These are buildings that were built in the 1100s, 1200s, that were built after the immediate fall of the Roman Empire. And I'm looking at some of the dates here. Buildings that were from 1223 to 1225, the 1200s, the 1700s. There is a mosque that the building was entirely renovated in 1146 and 1401. It is known for its 12th century Kufic inscriptions and decorations.
Jesus.
There's another great mosque founded in 715. It was damaged during the Mongol invasion of 1260 and was rebuilt. The principal is described as the principal monument of medieval Syria and was erected in 1090 to 1092. This is now ground zero for one of the bloodiest civil wars that have ISIS coming into them. And because ISIS believes that these are not true representations of Islam and their false idols, they are destroying them. They're tearing them down. There is a hammam that dates back to 1211 in the ancient city of Aleppo. We are literally losing history in this war. We are literally losing. This was like, what was it, the library? Was it
Alexandria?
Babylon? Alexandria. Thank you. It was the library in Iraq that I can't think of the fucking name now. I've got to Google this now. It might have been Alexandria. Was it Alexandria? I think it was Alexandria. Yes, I'm sorry. It was the Library of Alexandria. I'm getting the Gardens of Babylon mixed in my head for some reason. This is like losing the Library of Alexandria of our time. We don't have a lot of history dating back to the 1100s and 1200s that's so prominently displayed. this is an actual city. They've left these buildings. They've left them as they stood, which were ancient trade routes after the immediate fall of the Roman Empire. When, the world was unstable and Islam was kind of making its mark on the world. And say what you want to say about the religion, but they did play a huge historical role in the history of the world. And we're losing this. We're losing this. We are losing this to war, and we have a man at the helm that literally wants to bomb them out of existence and destroy this. Where in the world can you say you can walk through a city and see buildings that date back to 1124?
Outside of Europe, Middle East, and Asia, well, I guess that's a good portion of the world.
This is the Middle East, but I mean like actual cities that people live in, not architectural dig sites that have to be protected. The ancient city of Aleppo is actually a UNESCO World Heritage Site. ISIS has destroyed many of the artifacts already.
Yeah.
And we're losing it. We're literally fucking losing this. And we have a man at the fucking helm. That's just like, okay. And we have like the Temple of I can never say this. Baal Shaman. I'm sorry for our Middle Eastern listeners, I butcher your language horribly. Was an ancient temple in the city of Palmyra. I'm sorry, this is Palmyra, not Aleppo.
Okay.
The temple's earliest phase dates back to the 2nd century. Its altar was built in 115 AD, and the temple was substantially rebuilt in 131 AD. With the spreading of Christianity in the regions in the 5th century, the temple was converted to a church. They blew it up.
That was ISIS?
ISIS. In May 2015, Palmyra was captured by the Islamic State of Iraq and the Levant, ISIL, a terrorist group, blah, 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 blah. Shortly after, ISIL reportedly claimed it did not intend to demolish the building at Palmyra's World Heritage Site, but stated it would destroy any artifact that it deemed polytheistic. I can't talk to make you people know. Yes, thank you. I just couldn't get it out of my mouth, or pagan. On August 23rd, 2015, ISIL militants detonated a large quantity of explosives inside the temple, completely destroying the building. The temple's destruction was announced by the head of the Syrian Directorate General of Antiquities and Museums. Photographs of the placement of the explosives, the explosion itself, and the remnants of the temple subsequently appeared on social media. UNESCO described the willful destruction of the temple as a war crime. The destruction was independently verified by a French plebiscite, sorry I don't speak French, which photographed the pile of rubble a few days later. Now, the world was shocked when this happened. This is happening every day in Aleppo. They are dropping bombs indiscriminately and destroying history.
But this
that
is ISIS,
we will
right?
never fucking see again. And it's kind of a culmination in Aleppo. It's kind of ground zero for the civil war that's already happening there.
Okay, because I was gonna say this would not be the very first time that's happened, though. We saw the Taliban doing this in Afghanistan. They were destroying Buddhist temples, which had been around for centuries.
Which they are now actually rebuilding, and they're actually turning out to be quite beautiful.
Interesting.
I find religious art extremely beautiful. I always wanted to visit the Petra in Jordan. It was like some temple, if I'm not mistaken. I'm sorry, I'm tired. It's a long night. But, religion aside, I do find religious artifacts and religious art absolutely beautiful. But this is history. This is history that when we eventually do die off, this is something that whatever comes after us, if we are fortunate enough on this planet to have a being as intelligent as us come after us, can look back and say maybe they weren't savages.
Maybe,
that won't look at us like how we look at Neanderthals or how we look at Denisovians and say, you know what, maybe they did have some good ideas, maybe they weren't savages. But doing this, and we're not thinking that far ahead, that not my kid's generation, not his kids, but 3-4 more generations down the line, when these kids dig up these beautiful buildings and these beautiful artifacts and these beautiful mosques and these beautiful temples and these beautiful churches, they're literally going to look at these and say, what the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
These were beautiful, these were history, and it's gone.
Mm-hmm.
Because we have a civil war going on, and then ISIL decided this would be a prime opportunity to move it. And I'm not going to sit here and say Muslims are bad or whatever the fuck, but we literally have two fucking people standing on a stage in the most powerful fucking country in the world that are not giving anyone a solid answer on why we're going to stop this, how we're going to stop this, what are we going to do? Well, we're just going to bomb it out of oblivion.
Yeah, because that's really the only way to actually deal with these things. Not, like...
Yeah.
We're just going to bomb
We'll
them.
just drop some more bombs on people that have just been having bombs dropped on them.
Yeah, that's what they need, is more bombs. Like, clearly the problem isn't that they don't have it's not that they need peace or, a chance to grow or anything. No. It's that they've got all the bombs.
It's hard to get atheists riled up about religious wars and everything else, because, we gotta see that you're all fucking stupid. But you need to get riled up at the fact, a lot of people will sit there, well, humanitarian, they're Arab, they're Muslim, whatever. Get pissed off about the history. This is history that literally all of us, this is history from the Huns, this is history from human migration.
Mm-hmm.
This is the Roman Empire that fell and made these countries that people in America are so fucking proud to have their ancestors from. Get pissed off about that. Do something about that. This is history that we're losing at a ridiculously rapid pace.
We are. We absolutely are. And I think it's something that we have to consider going forward is, are we going to protect these historical sites in such a way to preserve culture? I know they may not have the same significance, but I can still go to the ruins of the Mayans and be in awe at how they built.
Right. Look at England. There are buildings in England that are older than the United States. That you can literally go and sit and visit. There are buildings in England that are older than Canada and the fucking United States that you can literally go and sit in and have dinner in.
Yeah.
There are architectural sites in Turkey that go back, to the Ottoman fucking Empire thousands of years ago that you can visit and say, holy shit. Greece. You can visit ruins in Greece from literally 1,000 fucking... Literal, year 1,000. I don't understand why people are having such a hard time or can't identify with the fact that the rate that we're going in this area, which is really the crossroads of history, is the crossroads of world history. We would not be here. We would not have a world history if it wasn't for places like Iraq and Syria and Jordan and Iran. We wouldn't. This is the literal crossroads of human fucking history.
Mm-hmm.
Why are people so okay with losing that history? Why? Why are we just be like, oh, okay. Why? Because we built a fucking new one in downtown New York?
Yeah.
We just built new history? You can't fucking do that.
No, you cannot.
I don't understand the disconnect. And people want to claim, oh, my ancestors did this and my ancestors did that, and I'm so proud of them, or blah, 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 blah. When at some point in fucking time, you are a human being. At some point in time, your ancestors lived in these places. Your ancestors worshipped in these places. They traded. They raised their children. They got married there.
Yep.
So why are you not as up in arms about this? That granted, it may have been your ancestors weren't there at the time of 1000 BC and, or AD, I'm sorry. And, it was millions of years ago that they passed through. But every fucking human being on this planet has Middle Eastern DNA in them because that's where we wound up after we came out of Africa. While they might not have been in these buildings, this is still their fucking land. This is still human land. We literally all lived there at one point in time, some ancestor of ours, before half decided to go towards Asia and the other half decided to go towards the Mediterranean. This is literal, documented, studied by human skulls, can be mapped through your genome, your DNA. These are your ancestors. This is their land. Why are you so... And even if you're not predominantly Middle Eastern, this is still land that Europeans traveled through and traded with and had friends in and enjoyed visiting. This is where they made their money. This is the actual land that I don't give a fuck who you are. Aleppo, Palmyra, Syria, these were the fucking trading crossroads of the world at one point in time. This is actual land that your ancestors, no matter where the fuck you are from, barring the natives and, you know, the aboriginals and shit like that, your fucking ancestors walked through. Why are we not standing for them and their land and what they were about? I get angry at this shit because it's fucking history, man. Like, what do you... The greatest loss in history we had was the loss of the fucking library at Alexandria. That was one of the most staggering losses of history. Yeah. Why are we still not this angry? Why get angry?
Because
please?
People don't know about it.
Well, now you fucking do. Spread the fucking word.
Spread the fucking word. And
like I want to see pitchforks coming into fucking Aleppo and being like, fuck you, we're taking it back.
I don't think we ever had it to begin with, I'm not gonna lie.
We did at one point. The fucking buildings were there. It's like, fuck you, now we're taking it back. Get passionate about this shit. You want to talk about your fucking ancestors? Let's fucking talk about it.
Well, while Jen steps onto her porch so she can go rile up the neighbors and try accruing an angry mob to go chase a village through the streets. Oh,
yeah,
sorry,
I live in the South. I live in the South. They're not. Wow, Qatar is actually very pretty. Sorry, I'm flicking through world camps. But
this is what she does when she's supposed to be talking to you fuckers.
Yeah, I look at.
This is why we can't do live recordings. It's because she gets so bored.
This is fascinating. No, I'm not bored. I just have, I can't concentrate. But this is fascinating. These earth cams, I'm literally looking at places all over the world in my living room. It's fabulous. Anyway. Yeah, I live in the South. Going to tell a bunch of these people that, we're going to go save the Arabs. Yeah, that's not going to fucking work too well.
While Jen tries to find some way to manipulate her simple-minded neighbors, her southern-minded neighbors, all about the importance of history in Syria and that area, I think I'm going to take a step into the Angry Dome. Is that what I'm calling it now? That's what I'm calling it right now. For now. Because it has a different name every week. Okay, here we go.
Ta-da! Surprise, motherfucker!
Ooh, if anyone needs me, I'll be in the Angry Dome.
God is the ultimate metaphor for a shitty father. And this, of course, assumes that you believe in him/her/it/insert pronoun. So he shows up, and he puts you in a life that can be absolutely shitty at the best of times. He does this by inserting any number of shitty circumstances, shitty people. Then he fucks off and he leaves you to deal with everything. You're the one who has to deal with your ailments and those same shitty people. And the odds stacked so far against you that you have every reason to be pissed off. Oh, but when he shows up, he takes the credit for how much of a success you've become, how much you've overcome, because, he gave you life, but don't be ungrateful, he's just commanding that you love him. But guess what? He is a lousy, freeloading, credit-taking, blame-avoiding, moral sponge of an idea that you don't need to put up with. And you can bet your ass that those mysterious ways are just a shield for his perpetual absenteeism. And magically, every malady you face is somehow a test of your character that was sent by him. And your every success is because in those same mysterious ways, he imbued you with that strength to overcome whatever the hell happened. Now, I'd like to refer to that shit-ass poem about the footsteps in the sand. The one where the only reason you saw one set of footsteps in the sand at certain times was supposedly because Jesus was carrying you. Now, since you're listening to this show, you know that I'm about to call shenanigans and bullshit. And I do so because the reason you only see one set of footprints is because you found within yourself the strength to keep walking and push through the shit being hurled at you. Now, the only time you had other steps beside yours are when you had good people in your life that you let in and they gave you support. They loved you. They saw the beauty in who you were and who you will become. Now, I have a dad, a real one, biological and in the father sense. And guess what? He's not perfect, but he sure as shit doesn't claim to be. And guess what else? He has provided some fantastic examples of who I do and do not want to be when I get around to finally growing up. I'm fortunate enough to have a decent relationship with him, and I'm also fortunate enough that his actual absenteeism from various parts of my childhood
was because he wanted to make sure his family had enough food on the table. And not once has he ever tried to tell me that I am somehow damaged and need his love and guidance in order to be perfect. Not once has he threatened me with eternal damnation for not loving him. So, who took me to the doctor when I was 8 and tried to cut off part of my finger? It wasn't God, but rather the guy who provided half my genetic material and some of my moral, emotional, and intellectual upbringing. Who patted me on the back after I ripped my arm to pieces in a biking accident because he was proud of how I handled that incident? Fleshy Dad. By the way, I dealt with that incident by screaming profanities and immediately going to try to clean up my arm, road rash and plucking rocks out of it and everything. So I'll leave it to you to guess which of the two made him the most proud. But like I said, he's not perfect. I fight with him often enough to know that he isn't. But he is there, and he loves me. He doesn't hide and use mysterious ways to build a relationship with me. Rather, he sends me jokes throughout the day, he asks my opinions, and he tries to get to know who I am, instead of telling me who I should be and outlining my punishments for questioning him. You know what else is even better? This person in your life doesn't need to be your dad. You can look up to, model, and hold in high regard someone else in your life. And the main thing is that they make you better and make you feel better. I say this because I know some of you have dads that are so shitty they should be buried so deep inside the earth that magma is slowly melting the walls of their cell. Or they should be castrated viciously with dull and rusty cutlery. He's your shitty person, so I leave it to you to insert your preferred punishment. But the main point of this is, you have real people in your life. Ones who care, who exemplify a person that you aspire to be. Who are imperfect because they are human. But most importantly, they love you for who you are. Not how well you adhere to their archaic code of fucked up ethics that can't even prevent their representatives on Earth from raping children.
Now's the time our sprockets when we dawn.
So that about wraps it up for this episode of Not Another Atheist Podcast.
God damn it, my Antigua camp froze my system.
We are so sorry for the delay. I would love to say that we're going to get right back on track after this, but I'm not going to make a promise that I can't.
But I have a very active 5-year-old. Yes, everyone, my son celebrated his 5th birthday. He is no longer a little baby toddler. He is now an actual school-aged kid, and I'm old.
Anyways, on that note, Jen, thank you for joining me. And to all our listeners, thank you for joining us. Have a great evening.
Whatever, fuckers. You know you turned it off by this point anyway, so fuck it.
The Not Another Atheist podcast experience is run by Jen and Keith. If you wish to contact the hosts, please write to nehehp@gmail.com. They can be found at facebook.com/NotAnotherAtheistPodcast or search Not Another Atheist Podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, and Google Play to subscribe and leave reviews.
What are you waiting for? That's it. That's all there is to today's episode. Seriously, you don't have any other podcasts you could be listening to? Come on. Really? It's not going to get much better from here.
I'm picking up my panties and I'm going home, okay?